'60s, moving on to the '70s. Now in the '70s, some of y'all say y'all know my cousin Forrest, right? Mm-hmm. Now y'all did see the movie they made for him, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't see me in the movie, right? No. All right. But there's a part of the movie which I should have been in, and I'm still, trying to work on getting them to remake the movie to put me in there. They had this party, right? And it was me. It was my idea. I ran into these cats when I moved to Chicago, right? I had just moved to Chicago early 1970s. I just moved to Chicago, and I was new. So I met these new cats, and, they told me they was part of this Black Panther party, right? So I heard the word party. So I wanted to go there and do the Rylo slide, and he's talking about, they do some kind of step dance they famous for, whatever, So I said, well, I don't step, I just do the slide, you know what I mean? But come to find out, the Black Panther party, it wasn't a party. It was a bunch of young guys who were kind of angry and mad about the way they were being treated. And one thing we have to remember the times we talk about. We talk about the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, when there was nothing for, like, if a black dude was in the wrong neighborhood, he would get beat up. Martin Luther King made it famous. Martin Luther King was famous for passive-aggressive resistance or nonviolence, rather. I'm sorry. Martin Luther King made it famous for nonviolence, where you see the old pictures of Dr. King marching, people throwing rocks at him, people sicking dogs on him. Have you guys ever seen that before? Mm-hmm. Because he was in the South, and then in the South, you were outnumbered, and they were trying to kill you anyway. So if you tried to fight back, it gave them a reason to kill you, because they were lynching folks. You know what I mean? So in the North, it was a little different. In the North, they were lynching people too, but it wasn't legal to sick dogs on people in the North like it was in the South. So people in the North, they could talk a little more than they did in the South. So you get these young guys, they all hyped up, and they're like, look, somebody put their hands on me, I'll put my hands on them, right? So they was kind of, some people said they called them militant, violent at times. Some of them might have been violent, some of them wasn't. Some of them pretty much was just, we gonna protect our neighborhood kind of deal. So I hook up with this Black Panther party, and I tell Forrest, I say, Forrest, they're having a party, right? So we go to the party and stuff, and Forrest did what you're not supposed to do. And Forrest kind of slow. And I don't know if y'all remember the movie. The movie did show Forrest at the party. Remember, Forrest did something and they kicked him off the party, and he said, sorry, Mr. Black Panther, for ruining your Black Panther party. Y'all remember that part of the movie? Well, what they did, they didn't tell you why they put him out, see? What happened is, me and Forrest was chilling, right? And we at this party, and they playing Marvin Gaye. Anybody ever heard of Marvin Gaye?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Marvin Gaye, right? And they playing Marvin Gaye, right? And Marvin Gaye at the time, this is like this was an all-black party. This is a party, all black folks and stuff like that. And so Marvin Gaye, who was like, in today's time, Marvin Gaye would be equivalent to like the Lil Wayne. Who knows Lil Wayne?
And his moon boot worm.
Okay. Well, imagine going to a party, right? Imagine going to a party and somebody playing Lil Wayne on the radio, and everybody at the party wants to hear Lil Wayne. And somebody goes up to the, back then, you had a little radio station with the 45s and the needles. And somebody goes and takes the record off, or better yet, for y'all situation, somebody has their iPod plugged up into the speaker system, and somebody pulls their iPod off and hook their iPod up and start playing Taylor Swift.
Just start fighting stuff like that.
That would kind of ruin the party, right?
That would totally get punched.
Well, unfortunately, that's what Forrest did. Forrest did it, but he played, what's that guy's name? They made a movie about him too, Walk the Line.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash, there you go. So he was like kind of a country rock guy, and we had an all-black party. Well, country rock wasn't really their thing at the time. Maybe you had a couple people who might listen to it, but that wasn't what they wanted to hear. They listen to Marvin, Let's Get It On, and Mercy, all the all the old school songs. They dancing, and they having the groove and all that. The next thing you know, we went from Mercy Me or Let's Get It On to Johnny Cash. So of course everybody look at Forrest, who's still standing by the radio. If you're gonna change the radio, just move. So they look at Forrest, and I'm with Forrest. We both Gumps, so they kick both of us out. Which
why is he white and you're black?
By marriage, we cousins by marriage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we cousins by marriage. All right. I remember I said that in the beginning, but you wasn't paying attention.
I was too busy trying to break this thing.
Okay. Don't break it though, please. So, so me and Forrest get put out, right? And I really ain't talked to Forrest since then because I was upset with Forrest a little bit because here it is, I had met some new friends and Forrest, like Forrest always do. Forrest kind of slow when he do things and don't realize it, so he got me put out. But then that put a bad name because a lot of these guys came to my barbershop. They didn't want to come to my barbershop no more, you know what I mean? So, me and Forrest was cool, but, I still stayed in Chicago. I didn't want to move. I like Chicago, so I stayed there.